Hey, it's Friday, and you know what that means? Quick formational time from Sunlight IT. I'm the CEO, Sean Pennington, and this week we're going to be talking about dark web monitoring and continuing down this train track of what it is that MSPs do. And this week, it is dark web monitoring. Now, I know you're shouting and cheering. You've been waiting for months for me to discuss this. Probably not. But dark web monitoring is kind of important because it is one of the ways that we block and stop password spray attacks. Now, you might be going, well, what is that? Well, if you think about it from a military standpoint, guy pulls out a gun and just starts firing at the enemy haphazardly. It's called spray and pray. And you're just hoping that you hit as many people as possible because you really can't fire a gun very well. Um, it's just the way it is. Hopefully our military isn't doing spray and pray, but sometimes I bet you that is going to be the case, is you might be running away from the enemy and just spraying bullets and praying that it deters or takes somebody out. But in this case, dark web monitoring is spray and pray for hackers. They are taking credentials, your username and a password that they got off the dark web, and they're combining against any website that they can point it at, any website that will accept the login. It might be your email address and some random password that you have. But what they're doing is they're just spraying passwords and usernames at every website they can and praying that it hits. If it hits, then they have effectively hacked you. And it's all because of your password being available on the dark web somewhere. You can pay $1, you can pay $10 for some of these usernames and passwords on the dark web. And to be perfectly honest, you can buy larger lists for fairly inexpensive through the dark web. Again, it's just spraying and praying. And so what services do, what dark web monitoring does, is it watches the dark web for these password lists to be dropped, these PII lists to be dropped, or username and credential lists to be placed. And somebody buys the entire list, and then they start monitoring for those to be out there based off of your domain. So let's say Sean at xyz.com has his username, his email address put out there, and one of his passwords gets stolen. Let's call it QuickFormational 1 exclamation point. Well, hacker's going to take QuickFormational 1 exclamation point, and they're going to blast it a whole bunch of websites with Sean at xyz.com, and they're going to hope that they get it. Dark web monitoring is monitoring for xyz.com, and specifically it's going to see that it's Sean at xyz.com, and I'm going to get an alert telling me, hey, your password at this website for this domain has been flagged as being out there and available for people to see. I get that alert. I know immediately, hey, I've got to change my password quick before somebody uses it. Now, here's where it takes the next step from a security training standpoint. I'm going to give you a freebie here. If you're using the same password for multiple websites, that's a problem. If you're using it for like 100 websites, can you imagine going through 100 websites and changing that password to be something else because it got out from just one place? And this is where password managers take and should be used. We're going to talk about that here in a few weeks. But keep in mind, a password manager is a powerful tool. They have a little bit of cost from a corporate standpoint. A lot of them are free from a personal standpoint, but they will help you manage those passwords so that when you get the alert from dark web monitoring saying that Sean at xyz.com has been placed out there on the dark web, you know that my account at Solomon ITC has been breached in some form or fashion, and I only have to change one password instead of 100. That's the great thing about using the password manager in conjunction with dark web monitoring, is now I know if it's been leaked, and I know I only have to change one, which is phenomenal because it's going to take a lot of time, and if I'm the CEO, and I happen to be, I don't have that much time to just change 100 passwords because I didn't want to remember more than one. And I know this is human nature, but here's the freebie. Use different passwords for everything and use a password manager. Both of these are things that MSPs should be providing or giving you the capability of having in the way of a service. And so, what are we continuing down the path on? More of what MSPs do. So here in a few weeks, we'll talk about password managers and stuff like that. This week, dark web monitoring. That's what it is. That's what they do. And that's how it operates and works. Your MSP should be offering it. I highly recommend it. And I also highly recommend the password manager. Sean Pennington, Solid IT. That's this week's QuickFormational. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Take care.